Hello, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. There was a lot of drama that went down, especially in the NBA bubble over the week. We're going to be getting into all of that, but of course, subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share this video with your friends. Here's the Fumble squad. We are down one member today. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Britt. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
So our girl Jackie is going to be back again tomorrow, you guys. She's just out for the day. She is missing the Messy Monday, which I'm disappointed about because I thought she'd have some funny takes on all of the craziness that went down. Before we dive into it, I just want to hear how your weekend was. So, Britt, did you have a nice weekend?
I am so tired, but it was a good weekend. I had, it was good. It was good. I actually got to get together with some girlfriends that I haven't seen in like the last 5 months, and we went to dinner. But then the night just kept continuing, and we just ended up at one of their houses, and it was 8 a.m. and we were in the swimming pool still. So, yeah, I'm still recouping from that, and that was 2 days ago. So, not as young as I used to be.
Well, even if I was like 14, if I had a night like that, I wouldn't be able to survive. Yeah. So I don't think it has anything to do with age at all. Chris, what did you do this weekend? Anything fun or out of the ordinary?
Well, I wish you started with me because my answer is not as cool. I didn't do a damn thing this weekend. I was just watching a lot of basketball and chilling. I did not do a damn thing. I'm over here envious of the Britt Johnson adventure over there.
I know, me too. My weekend was also not nearly as fun as Britt's, but I did get some really good vegan sushi, which I was telling Britt about before the show. It was amazing. I stopped by Malibu for a little bit, which was a nice time. Went to a little barbecue.
Explain vegan sushi to me. I'm sorry, I don't want to hold up the show, but what?
I was trying to think about that too, because I never ate regular sushi, but I'm just like, do I even want to try vegan sushi? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so good. I really recommend it. So they have like crispy rice, spicy tuna, but the tuna is made out of tomatoes that they like marinate, and it's kind of a similar texture, I think. I've actually,
Chris's face right now when you were saying that was home.
What?
You know what? The place is right by our old studio. So maybe one day, if we're ever back in studio, we can all go over to the vegan sushi spot and try it because it's good.
So
and I think you would all like it.
Clearly. It's not looking good for 2020.
Right. So hopefully 2021, hopefully.
Okay. 6 years down the line.
Date, 2021.
It sounds weird, but it's really good. But enough about food, because I could talk about food forever, so I shouldn't even have started. I shouldn't have mentioned it. Let's jump in.
I was curious.
I'll bring it to you sometime, Chris. I'll show you the joys of vegan sushi. Anyway, let's talk about Dame Lillard, Paul George, Patrick Beverley, all of the craziness that happened. This is like Britt's nightmare, battle of her two favorites. Okay, so on Saturday, the Blazers took on the Clippers, and the LA team took home the win, partly due to the fact that Dame missed 2 clutch free throws that would have given Portland the lead, and the Clippers bench did not waste a second in making fun of Dame, especially Pat Beverley. The stakes are high in the bubble right now, so obviously this mocking and teasing didn't really go over that well with Dame. But in a post-game interview, he said that the Clippers were getting so much enjoyment out of his missed free throws because he normally doesn't miss, and he took it as a sign of respect. And then Bleacher Report shared that quote along with this one about sending Patrick Beverley home before, and Paul George just got sent home by me last year in the playoffs. They posted that, and then there was just a comments war that ensued after that. Paul George commented on the image and said, "And you getting sent home this year," with the laughing emoji. Dame responded back saying, "Keep switching teams, running from the grind. You boys is chumps." Then PG wrote back, respect that too. In my stint with my first team, I had more success. Dame, time running out, G. Then he went on his Instagram stories and said, quote, "It be a lot of jawing going on and I keep my peace. Imagine y'all go through 6 major surgeries and still be standing. I promised the story would be different if that never happened. But respect it. Injuries is a part of the game I play. I'll leave it on that floor every time I suit up. God bless." And then he said another thing. He posted another story that said, "Fans got to stop gassing too. Everybody gets sent home by somebody. If you don't win at all, ain't no cool points in that shit." So, I mean, it was just like a lot of back and forth. The families got involved. Chris is going to be talking about that later on in the show. But basically, it turned into a whole thing. So, Britt, I want to go to you first. Obviously, I feel like your take is going to be very interesting. What are your thoughts on... I just want to hear the general overview, your thoughts on this beef going on right now.
Devin, I already told you I was so tired. I just can't. Honestly, this is probably what started my weekend of being tired. Honestly, first things first, the game was amazing. That just showed that the Clippers are the best built team in the NBA right now, because that was basically the Clippers like third string that was out there, and they came in and when Kawhi didn't play, Patrick Beverley didn't play, Trez didn't play. So that was a huge, huge win for my Clippers. I actually said, I tweeted immediately, that was my favorite win of the season, hands down, because even though Doc could have put, Paul George back in the late in the game, he was like, nope, we're going to keep these guys out here and just let them play it out, see what they can do. And they delivered, and it was a really good game. So congrats to my Clippers for that. That was a huge win. I could see why Dame would be so salty, because they lost to the Clippers' third string. That is why Dame is so upset in that moment, because Dame and CJ both stayed out there that whole game. They were playing the game, and that was Clippers' third string. So I get why Dame is so upset. The things that he said and the things Paul George is coming back, it just tit for tat. They're both right and they're both wrong at the same time, is what I feel like. I think they're both very accurate in the stuff that they said, but also both were like, who cares? At the end of the day, whoever wins it all wins it all. Both of y'all have never won anything, So what are you guys both really arguing about? Because at the end of the day, both of you guys have been sent home on several occasions because y'all have never won a championship. Neither one of you guys has. But it was very hard. It was very hard because not only are the Clippers my favorite team, so it's Dame against my favorite team, but we all know, I say Paul George is one of my favorite players. He went to college with me, Fresno State, Bulldogs, baby. Yeah. So I have very close ties to both of them. And we all know Dame Lillard is my favorite player. So it was really hard to watch this unfold. I'm not surprised that it happened, because both of those guys have never backed down to saying anything, especially Dame. Dame more so. Paul George usually doesn't really get into beefs like that, but you could tell with the little crap talking that was going on the court and stuff while they were playing in the game, that it was just like a deeper, heated situation. And even when Paul George went out, they were just, him and Patrick Beverley were going crazy when their guys were doing great on the court and stuff. So it was just like, I love it. I told you guys, it's just the sexual frustration to not have, going on, and everybody, we're just seeing an intense level of what the players have. The one thing I will say is the stuff, actually we'll talk about it later. There's more stuff when Chris is going to mention it later that I think was disrespectful and shouldn't have been said. But as far as these two guys, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it as is. I was sad in the moment, but I love the debates. I love going back and forth at each other. That's what makes basketball fun and good. And I loved it. But I mean, Clippers won at the end of the day. And we had our third string. So boom. That's it.
I also have a feeling that we're going to get another Dame Dolla diss track, and it's going to be all about Paul George. He's probably posted up in the hotel room right now, writing those lyrics out. So get ready for that.
Wait until he sees that his team actually makes it into the playoffs before he releases that track. That's just
whether or not it gets released. It's definitely being written. Chris, okay, so I want to hear from you. Was this back and forth justified, and do you feel like they're reacting so strongly because they're under a lot of pressure? Do you think it's because of the sexual frustration that Britt's talking about? What elicited this intense response?
I don't think pressure, possibly some of the sexual frustration. Definitely, I'm sure that's coming from all angles, from every player right now in the bubble right now. But I think, I just think that's just Dame. Like, I just feel like there was bad blood this entire time. Even though Dame got the last laugh, there's still that bad blood there, and that's why the conversation continued. Even though it wasn't him that did the waving, it was Patrick Beverley. The attack was still going on Paul George. I loved it. Like Britt said, I loved it. I was enjoying every second of it. Paul George is actually one of my favorite players too. So I love the back and forth that was going on between them. I do think Dame did have the one up with the comebacks and with the facts on it too. But at the same time, I mean, cool, you did it last year. Cool, you did in the past. But Paul George even said it, as you read, like everybody's eliminated somebody at some point, or most superstars have eliminated somebody. So it's like, cool, I'm glad you got that for you. But right now, my Clippers are in second. You guys are trying to get a playoff spot. So I just love the back and forth. So that's all I cared about. I'm just, as a basketball fan, I was just enjoying some kind of animosity. None of this like, all right, fight on the floor, but we're best friends off the court. Nah. It continued. And I'm a huge fan of that. So I just thought that was cool. I'm just so pissed that this is possibly the last time we're going to see the two teams play against each other at all this season. Because, I mean, it's going to be unlikely, or it's possible. But if they get to the playoffs, they got to beat the Lakers. People think that it could happen, but it's going to be very unlikely for them to get past them. And then, so I just wish that we could see more, because that would have made for such a crazy series altogether for 7 games. That would have been dope. But no, I loved every second of it. I was all for it. I was enjoying the ride. I was eating my popcorn, looking at both sides like, oh, what are you going to do about that? Oh, so yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was dope.
Yeah. And to say, I think it's very much so NorCal versus SoCal, because
facts.
Paul George and Russell Westbrook are both Southern California guys. He's NorCal. Everybody knows people in Northern California hate people in Southern California, and vice versa. Yeah. So I think it's just like, not even with the teams they're on now, it's just that old school battle from when everybody was younger, and they're all like, obviously Paul George is a little bit older than, I think he's like 2 or 3 years younger than Dame.
Yeah, about 2, 3. Yeah,
he's 31. Yeah, so he's like a couple years under, or no, Dame just turned 30. So no, they're around the same age. So they all probably grew up in the AAU circuit together, kind of doing stuff like that. So I'm sure that they had beef from way back in the day, just growing up and being those Northern Cal guys versus the Southern California guys. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's funny though. I mean, it was a must win. Like every game's a must win for the Trailblazers. So they've been acting like that, coming with that heat every game. My other favorite game was the Rockets and Blazers game. So because the Blazers have so much at stake here, and they're trying to make that either 8th seed or make play-in game or whatever, I just think every game is going to be heated for them. Yeah. And Dame answered back the next day with scoring 50 points.
Sorry, I was gone for a second, you guys. Chris, I missed your whole answer.
Were you really?
You were frozen that long. I was talking like 10 minutes ago, and then I started talking again.
And then Britt went on. We lost Britt. I had no idea.
This is so funny. I missed your whole answer, Chris, and I missed everything you guys said after that. So I have no idea what you said. But what I do want to know really quickly, whose team are you on? Are you guys team Dame or are you team Paul George? Just give me the name and then we'll move forward. Chris, let's start with you.
I was going to say, I think that's a Britt question. I mean, I think we know the answer. For me, I ain't got no team. Like I said, I just want the animosity. But I think in the battle, because it was still kind of fresh. And I don't know, because Dame had him with the comebacks, but in the same breath, like Britt said, the Clippers are still second in the West. So I mean, Clippers got him right there. So I don't know. I gotta go. I guess I'm gonna. I don't know. I ain't got no team. I just want them to keep fighting. Can I be the instigator rather than pick a team?
I guess, Chris. Okay, what about you?
Okay, all right,
cool. I plead the fifth here. I'm not gonna say. I actually do not have somebody that I agree with more than the other. Like, I love them both dearly. I said before, they both made their points. At the end of the day, Clippers won that game. Dame had the next game the day later where he scored 50. They're gonna keep whatever. At the end of the day, who's gonna send who home? We'll see. The Clippers could have very well just sent Dame Lillard home if they do not end up making it to like that play-in game or whatever, because the Clippers won that game. So we'll see. We'll see who gets home next.
All right.
What about you, Devin?
George.
Nah. Devin, what about you? Which side are you picking? Nah, we're not just gonna move on.
I think everyone else gets like, I plead the fifth. I'm not going to say I'm not picking a team. You know what? I'll come here and I'll say I'm Team Paul George this time. So on that note,
okay.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Draymond, okay? Because he's not being sent home, but he is being sent to fine. So he had a stint as a TNT analyst, and now he's been hit with a tampering fine. It was $50,000, and it's all for comments he made about Devin Booker. We have the clip here, so Leo, whenever you get a sec, throw that clip up for us so that we can hear what he had to say.
Book playing well and Phoenix playing well, but get my man out of Phoenix.
And then he went on he talked about that quite a bit more, and then he went on to admit that he maybe was tampering. And then, of course, he was slapped with that fine. And after the news went public, he tweeted a bunch of laughing emojis. So he's clearly not taking it very seriously. He likely got that fine because the NBA is trying to crack down on tampering and enforce their rules. But the comments that he made are nothing unusual for private conversations between NBA executives and players, but the league definitely doesn't want those kinds of things being discussed publicly. It is the most prominent tampering fine issued by the NBA since Magic Johnson was fined for talking about Giannis back in 2018. So, Chris, would you consider this tampering, or was he just doing his job as a TNT analyst? Did he deserve this?
The answer is yes to every question you just asked. It was hella tampering for sure. He was doing his job to the best of his. He gave a real answer, because any other NBA player on the panel probably would have been like, well, you try to step around it. Now he said what he had to say, full-fledged knowing that he was going to get fined. Because, like you said, Ernie had asked him right after that clip. Ernie's like, is that tampering? He's like, yeah, probably. And then he got hit with the fine the next day. So, yeah, I think he knew exactly what he was doing. But, yeah, he answered the question the way that I would want somebody on TV to answer. So I loved it. He knew he got the fine. It was deserved, and it was tampering. It definitely was tampering for sure. But I was just glad that he took it and laughed it off, because I thought it was great. It was funny when it happened, and it was funny after too.
Yeah, I did love the way he was like, maybe, when asked if it was tampering.
Yeah.
It was good. And I agree with you. I like that he was just open. He was just saying what he wanted, and even though he did get fined for it, it was a good viewing experience. Okay, Britt, I want to ask you, do you agree with what he said about Devin Booker and the Suns?
Yes.
Good question.
Yes, I agree. I mean, but I've seen what the Suns have been able to do during the bubble right now, I think has been amazing. I think their coaches really found like a way to push this team and be great. So
Coach
I don't know.
Monty.
I like to see things play out and stuff. So I kind of don't want him to leave Phoenix, because I just feel like they're getting in there. I mean, they're the only team I believe now that's still undefeated in the bubble. So like they have been playing so well, and like it's just like I haven't even seen a team like this, like from Phoenix in a long time, So I think it was cool to see, and I would like to see how it like plays out, if they can consistently keep that up moving forward in the future. But I think to the tampering thing, I feel like if you're putting on a different hat, is like I'm getting paid now as a TNT analyst, then I don't feel like the NBA player in you should apply, because he's not talking as he's being interviewed in a thing and like he's in a locker room after a game and saying that. He's talking as like, I'm a TNT analyst now, and here is my opinion, which everybody usually talks about that same kind of thing, so I feel like I don't think it's right that he was fined, just because I think those rules should be applied differently depending on what hat you're wearing in that situation. If you're an analyst, that's what you're supposed to talk about. You're supposed to think or talk about where players should be and who fits best where and whatever that case. So I just don't think he should have been fined in that situation, because he was wearing the hat of an analyst, not the hat of an NBA player.
Good point. That is a good point. Okay, let's get into the final news story. This is about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. An anonymous NBA executive believes that the Sixers will actually need to choose between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid if Philly leaves the playoffs earlier than expected. So obviously we've seen the two kind of struggle to develop chemistry, and we've heard rumors of one of them being traded for a while now. But if they don't have a deep playoff run, sources believe that letting go of one of the athletes is basically inevitable. Ben may not even be able to play in the postseason. He left the bubble for that knee surgery. And without Ben, some people believe that the team may struggle to find long-term success. But if Joel does well in the playoffs and seems to thrive without Ben, then Ben may be on the chopping block. So, Chris, who do you think is going to be more likely to go if they do decide to get rid of one of the athletes?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I don't know which is more likely. I know which one I would choose. Well, even with the injury, I don't know. I've always been more of a Ben Simmons over Joel Embiid. If I were to choose one of the two, I know that's probably not the popular answer. Maybe it is. Who knows? I feel like a lot of people would go with Joel Embiid. I think I would go with Ben Simmons moving forward because I think it's easier to build around a Ben Simmons. I mean, up until this latest injury, which is still a big question mark because we have to remember the injury he had. Like, even though he has the possibility of coming back, this is the same knee injury Andrew Bynum had way back when, and Andrew Bynum didn't make his way back on the court. And when he did, it wasn't that great. But obviously different players, different builds. But to answer the question, I would definitely choose Ben Simmons over Joel Embiid. I just feel like Ben Simmons, when he has a spread team built around him, he would be a better option for the 76ers team. I definitely think you could be successful with Joel Embiid. I just feel like Joel Embiid has missed more games than Ben Simmons. In the past, they both have injury problems, so you're either damn if you do, damn if you don't. To me personally, I'm going to go with Ben Simmons if I'm picking between the two.
Well, Britt, who do you think is more valuable to the team?
I am going to have to say Joel Embiid. I just think I think there's more Ben Simmons in the world than there are Joel Embiids. And so because of that, I think Joel Embiid is more, you're going to find less players that are at his level. That's to true. Say so as well. Like, I think Ben Simmons, he's been great on the defensive end of the ball this last year. And I think he's a great player. So I don't not think he's not a great player. I don't think he's going to return for the playoffs. So no. We'll see what that looks like. But we've already saw what that looked like previously. So I'm sure we're going to see another Joel Embiid crying emoji come from this season as well. But yeah, I like Joel Embiid better.
I think this is a perfect tryout for that question, though, because like right now there's going to be no Ben Simmons, so now it's going to be the Joel Embiid show. So I think this is the perfect way to test out that. I mean, obviously you can. Don't. You're right. No shade to them. I'm just saying of the All Stars. You're right. You're 100% correct. Yeah, low twice. I'm just saying though, because like this is now it's going to be his team to lead because there is no Ben Simmons. So this is like the perfect audition to see. All right, maybe we should go forward with Joel Embiid and let's move Ben Simmons or not. I don't know. I just feel like this is probably a good opportunity to test that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Britt, how legitimate do you think? He says. Yeah.
Or do a 180. 180. Yes.
I just want to ask both of you, and Britt, I want to start with you. How legitimate do you think this rumor is? Like, do you think that this is inevitable, like these sources are saying, or is this just another rumor floating around the NBA?
No, I see a lot of facts towards this because it is true when both of them are on the court, you don't really see them gelling, and to have two guys that are all-star caliber guys, all-star guys, and them just still not figure it out at this point is like somewhat concerning, like I feel like they've had a couple years to play together. Yes, so one will be injured and the other one will be good, and then vice versa. And then you see them come together and you think it's just going to be so explosive, and it just never ends up like that. So obviously something needs to happen. There needs to be change to happen because they're both too big of stars to not be as good as they are with the Sixers and not have, they have other weapons on that team too, and they still haven't been able to get it done. So with same people say the same thing with like Dame and CJ, but they really are the only two big stars on their team. They don't have other people that are there to help them. So for them to not get to a championship, that's fine. And CJ is not really like a star like Dame is, or like Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid is. So for them to kind of figure it out, you can see the difference in the gelling there, and then you don't see it with the Sixers, So same with like the Clippers and stuff. You can have guys like, Kawhi and Paul George, but if they don't gel together and if the team can't exist without one or the other on the team, then it doesn't work out. So I just think get rid of one of them. I think it's going to be Ben. We'll see what happens.
And then Chris, do you think it's a legitimate rumor as well? Do you agree with Britt?
I think they've been talking about this for years now, and I think that the fact that it comes up now, especially with this injury, and especially after coming into this season, everybody expected the Sixers to be in the top 3, and now we're seeing them barely struggling to be in the 6th spot right now. I definitely believe that there's a lot of truth to this. I wouldn't even consider it a rumor anymore. Although I said I would pick Ben Simmons, and I definitely would. You definitely probably could get more for Ben Simmons if you're making a move to surround Joel Embiid. So I definitely think there's going to be some sort of move. If it's not this offseason or if it's not this next season, I think there's going to be a move at some point in the future for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that, you guys. And that wraps up Need to Know News. So, Chris, fill us in on the dirty details from the drama over the weekend.
Yes, we got a lot of drama over here on Post Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. Yes, there's lots and lots of drama to get into, but we cannot go further than Kawhi Leonard. Okay, now Kawhi Leonard didn't even play, and this is all from the same game. Kawhi Leonard didn't even play. But for whatever reason, he had some kind of RoboCop mask that had circuits connecting to his mainframe or something. I don't know what was going on with this mask, but it was very, very different. Kawhi likes to be different. I'm always a fan of that. What I think this mask does, though, I think that maybe the little this is me just completely guessing and hoping that I'm right. But like, I don't know about you guys, but my mask from time to time, maybe it's because my mask is too small, but after a certain amount of time wearing it, it's not even about the breathing part. The back of my ear starts to hurt because of the straps. So I'm wondering if these little coils that he got that's messing with his mainframe, I wonder if that is more comfortable for his ears. I don't know, but the look of the mask is just creepy. Looks like a whole duck bill. I don't know. It's a weird mask. And like the captain said, it looks like he's wearing a homemade mask, and it definitely does look like that was definitely homemade, and he was making it from whatever was found in his hotel room. But it was different. It was Kawhi just being Kawhi with that mask. I don't know. You got any thoughts with this one, Britt? That's your boy Kawhi. Do you have any thoughts for that mask?
Yeah, I actually screenshotted it, and I was just like waiting for it because I was like, they better talk about this on the Post Up this week because I'm so confused. It definitely is homemade. He definitely just used the telephone cord in his hotel room, the coiled cord, just put it and then tied it with like a freaking, I don't know, a jock strap or something like that. I don't know.
Oh God, I hope not. Oh my God, I hope not. I mean, who knows?
A new one. You got a clean new one. It's a new
one. Right. Yeah.
It's
weird.
It is just very Kawhi-ish, though. That is very Kawhi. Yeah.
It's just Kawhi. Yeah. But sticking with that same game, we did talk about the trolling that happened after the fact, but we have to talk about what led to that point. And I gotta be real with you. Like I said, I am all about the clowning and with one team laughing at another team. I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. So when I saw right around, okay, first let me rewind. We got to the point where the game was really close, and like Britt said, at the end of the game, Doc was running all his third string guys, none of the starters, none of the key role players, none of that. We saw Trey Mann out there. We saw a lot of names that probably people other than Clipper fans would not even know that were on the court, and they closed out that game all the way to the point where Damian Lillard was at the free throw line to tie the game, and for the first time in the history of me watching basketball, he missed both free throws. But my favorite part of that was the reaction by my boy Mook or Marcus Morris and Patrick Beverly, who were on the sidelines. This was hilarious. We can get that up.
This was after the Lillard miss. Morris and Beverly reacted.
Patrick wanted to go in so bad.
He did. They were acting
Beverly's
so wild. Lou
He's
Williams
still
over there
enjoying
laughing
himself.
too. It was
Just
so
don't get hurt.
wild. So then after that, what started off the entire feud between the Clippers and Paul George, but I'll say the Clippers because he went after Patrick Beverly too, and Damian Lillard, was when Patrick Beverly decided to shout out Damian Lillard in Dame Lillard fashion after the Clippers beat the Blazers when I guess it wasn't Dame time, at least for this game. And here's Patrick Beverly being Patrick Beverly. If we can get it up.
Wake up, Leo. Wake up.
Almost there. It's in the same clip.
It's a glitchy stream today.
Yeah. So how's your guys' weekend? Anyways, all right, it doesn't matter. All right, moving on. It was literally just Patrick. It was right after this. Yeah, Patrick Beverley
Table there,
waving
the
off Damian Lillard. It's about to come up right here. It is. Look at there you go. Patrick Beverley doing the exact same wave, the Dame wave to Damian Lillard as he walked off the court, and they lost the game. And then ensued everything that we talked about earlier. Dame Lillard said that obviously he is in their heads, and and then we talked about everything that we talked about earlier in the show. But after the beef that went on between the players, Dame's sister decided that she needed to be a part of this battle too. Now, I feel a way about this, but I'm gonna talk about this after the fact, because here's my thing. I understand, siblings wanting to be there for their other siblings when there's some kind of beef or something's going on, especially when it's, as big as it is when it comes to Damian Lillard and Paul George. But the thing is, Damian Lillard handled himself just fine against Paul George. Like we said, we couldn't even choose a side, unless you're Devin. We couldn't even choose a side because both sides were not wrong. It was just a good battle between the two dudes that were both firing at each other, and I feel like both of them were hitting, whatever. But Dame's sister, like I said, Oakland, be careful. Dame's sister came in because she was very messy. She didn't only have some words for Paul George. She had some words for who Paul George is with after the fact. So here's Dame's sister going off on IG after the fact.
Bitch. Then look at her lips. Look at her face. Come on now, baby boy. Don't, because I'm getting personal with it. I don't care.
That's the middle of it. If we get from the top here.
But y'all, I said earlier I was going to let that whole Paul George shit go and Patrick Beverley, because everybody know how my mouth is, how my mouth can get. But niggas want to get on Instagram, so I'm finna get up under that nigga pictures and start talking hella shit. Because you can't talk. You got a whole stripper pregnant. Then you wife the bitch. Then look at her lips. Look at her face. Come on now, baby boy. Don't. Because I'm getting personal with it. I don't care. Because
Like I said, I get it when you want to be there for your brother, but why are we going there? Nothing out of pocket was said from either Paul George or Damian Lillard. Everything they said was attacking each other's games and attacking each other. Yeah, basketball talk. All of it was trash talk on the basketball court, rivalry perfectly. And then Marco came in bringing in his personal situation. So it was just, I thought it was lame. It was just whack. I wasn't a fan of the whole thing. I get it, but I know, Britt, you said earlier that you wanted to say something on that. So please speak your mind on this.
Yeah, I'm not here for that. I am not here for that. That was going too far. Not only he didn't just wife her, that's the mother of his two children. You went way too low. And I mean, I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want her coming after me too. But but I just thought that was uncalled for. It just took it to another level that it didn't need to go to, because she didn't. I mean, Paul George's girl didn't even say nothing. She wasn't even in it. She was no part of the conversation. Why did you even have to bring her up? There's no point of having her brought up in any of the conversation. And like you said, Dame already had it handled. He didn't need anybody to come and save him. Ben Simmons' sister comes through because Ben don't be saving himself. Ben Simmons' sister comes through because of that. But Dame had it handled. He didn't need any help on that situation. So I think when it comes to moments like that, you just let them two battle it out, or them and maybe she thought it's because it's three, because it's Paul George and Patrick Beverley, and so maybe she thought Dame needed a sidekick too. I don't know, but I thought Dame had it handled, and I just thought that was so unnecessary. And is this a thing now where we just talk to in front of car mirrors, windows?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Why?
The phone has a selfie camera on it. You don't have to talk into car window.
I think it was because she was sweaty from the gym, and so she didn't want to be seen. So she just filmed herself in a car window.
Oh my gosh, weird. Yeah, that might be it. But
put a filter on it. We also have filters too.
Facts.
Those filters can change your face.
Right.
I don't know.
Eyelashes, lipstick, whatever you need, boo.
Anything you wanted to do, the filter is there. That is facts. I don't know. I'm glad to see that she got his back whenever he's ready, but it just was out of pocket for me, and it was so unnecessary. And yeah, you brought up the perfect comparison, because Ben Simmons, he won't fight back because I don't know if he knows how to fight back. So his sister Liv got to come in and she got to set some people straight, and that's just how it happened. Dame had this figured out, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. It turned into, obviously then PG's baby mama comes in, she joined in the battle, and then that was a whole thing too. But I ain't gonna give that any time. But what I am gonna give some time to is Kevin Durant with this very messy comeback that he had. Now, apparently, some dude on Twitter called KD out because KD had followed his girlfriend. And then also proceeded to like his pictures. And according to this boyfriend, she blocked him because he was being weird. I just think that she knew that he saw that KD followed her, so she decided to block him to make KD look like the bad guy. I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit messy here, but KD's response was great. But first, I got to read you the original tweet by the very, very sour boyfriend who said, "Why are you such a weirdo? You are too wealthy for this. You really went and followed my girl? That's why she blocked you," in all caps. "You're weird," at Kevin Durant, or KD Trey, whatever. And my man Kevin Durant came back with the perfect comeback. He's like, damn, my bad. I accidentally pressed follow and liked all her pics. My phone tripping, bro. I was like the disrespect. Like, I'm saying, yo. Oh my goodness. This is why I say all the time, you don't need burner accounts. Just if you're going to talk, just talk on your regular account, because this was a perfect response. This is great. Kevin Durant, you got it. Like, your comebacks are good. Don't go on the burner account. Just come out and say what you guys say. Anyways, yeah, I thought this was good. Some people were mad that he has too much time for the fans or too much time for the haters. I don't know. I love this response. I'm here for it. KD won that battle to me. I thought that was very nice.
He's quarantining.
And he's not playing right.
At first, I was thinking Kevin Durant, just stop, go play basketball. But I'm like, oh wait, you're not playing basketball right now, and you're probably quarantining. So I am for all of this year. He can do it all day, all night if he wants to, because he's quarantining. He's at home. He's chilling in the house. So keep it up, KD. I love it. Also, did you listen to the video that the girl posts, or the Z the creator posted?
He had a video. No, I didn't see the video.
Audio. So what started it was a whole audio of
yes,
of Z the creator talking about KD and why KD's like a hoe and yada yada, and he's always on this hoe behavior, and every other word's like a big cuss word. And so KD responded to that and said, "Dang, you somebody's pissed or whatever." And then this is when KD
this would turn into this. Oh yes. My gosh, that makes it even better.
Yeah, the video though sounds like a female's voice, but I thought is Z the creator a male or a female?
Well, I thought he was a male, unless that's why the picture looked like it was a dude. I thought it was a dude, but now we got questions. I need to go deep diving into this.
Kind of like a female voice, so I don't know.
I mean, it could, yeah. Yeah,
but you guys go check out the audio. It's like a 10-minute rant on Kevin Durant, which started this whole thing. So Kevin Durant, I'm on Kevin Durant side today. Yeah, I'm about to say, even not even listening to it, I'm still with editing that video, so you can go look in the folder after this and listen to it.
Big facts, yeah. Oh my, that makes it even better. Oh, that makes it even better. I love that. Oh, KD, come on now, I love it. I'm with that. I'm with all the messiness. I like that. Speaking of messiness, this one nasty. I don't think we can play this with audio, so we not going to. But somebody else got Jamal Murray, but not as bad. Over the weekend. If those who do not know what being Jamal Murray means, that means you slipping up on IG, letting your personal gallivants being seen on Instagram Live. I'm trying to be as political and as good as possible on my job's live stream. So basically, yeah, Spider Mitchell live streamed himself getting it in the bubble. I just let that click for a second. This man he live streamed himself getting it in, and he's in the bubble, which we've been talking about with these masseuses. We know that there are ladies in there, whether they're reporters or whether there's ladies in there, so we don't know who it's with. The point of the matter is he live streamed himself with this going on. I don't want the sound on, but here's the reason why I do want to show this video, okay? Because I have questions, okay? So if we don't have the sound, Leo, but if we can get the video, look, you see that there's effects and whatnot going on in the background. that comes from your side when you're streaming. So my question is, he can't come back with the Jamal Murray argument saying it was an accident, because there's all you see the effects and the hearts and the fireworks and stuff going on in the background. So I have questions for this. This is so crazy, crazy. And
so
then,
confused
but then. That's what I'm saying, because that comes from you can't do this as a commentator. You can't make all that go on. But the perfect response I had to this, Leo, we get the tweet up. The perfect response to this was the Spider-Man meme. I don't know if you guys remember the very famous Spider-Man meme. It is this meme right here. It is Jamal Murray and Spider-Man filled with the Spider-Man meme. But yeah, man, I got so many questions. Okay, I got so many, like, I don't know where to go from this. Like, go ahead, Devin.
Chris.
Go.
Oh, I was just going to say, for those of you who are confused in the chat, I mean, it was like he was either hooking up with somebody or watching porn. I don't know if that was made clear.
One of the two. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, no, we can't play this now.
Porn and like, jacking up or something. I don't know if I could say that.
But why live stream it, and why have the fireworks filter going?
Yeah,
it's just weird.
I don't know.
He's probably on top of it. He probably accidentally put a filter and go.
You can't accidentally put that filter though, Devin. What if somebody else had his phone?
His phone might have got hacked, because you don't see his face in the video. Like, it's like you see him. So somebody could have hacked his phone. That makes sense.
Oh, man, well, he hasn't answered. Well, as of me putting this clip in, I don't know now. I'm looking in the chat. I haven't seen any response coming from Donovan Mitchell, because this happened yesterday. But I don't know. There's something going on. I'm sure we can hear something from it later.
We told Jamal Murray to just say less, so maybe Donovan Mitchell is listening to that, and he's not going to respond to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be best, because this one was a little too elaborate. That filter is what threw me. If the filter wasn't there, I'd be like, oh, dang, you slipped up. Whether it was porn, whether it was you hooking up, but the filter, I'm like, yo, you nasty. Like, you knew what you was doing. I don't know.
No, he's a hacker. This has to be a hacker.
Gotta be.
I don't think it's a hacker. I think he was probably like, oh, maybe I'll go live. And he was scrolling through the filters. And then he was like, actually, I'm going to go like have a little fun before I go live.
Or forgot that he was live.
Open. Yeah, he forgot.
But no. What a filter to stay on, though, because it just fits too well. So that's my beef with it. Oh man, I don't. Spider, you still my guy. I'm a fan of you, regardless. That at least we didn't have to see nothing like Jamal Murray did. So we just gonna move off of that. I don't know. Let your conspiracies be known in the chat below.
Just noises, it was the screen, which is so
right.
It's PG-13.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. R-rated. It's not X-rated. Okay.
Yeah, because you can see. Yeah, you're right. So I'll give you that as PG-13, because it sounds okay. Anyways, we're gonna move off of that. So Spider, maybe you should probably not say anything about it. Yeah, just leave it alone. Moving on from to Donovan Mitchell, we're going over to my guy Carmelo Anthony. Now, following the whole craziness that happened with the Clippers and Blazers in their next game against the 76ers, I feel like all of our stories are all connected, because we were talking about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid on the Sixers. We're talking about Damian Lillard, and now we're talking about the Blazers playing the Sixers. It's all like a crazy web. Whatever. Anyways, but the Blazers need to beat the Sixers to eliminate the Kings and the Pelicans, who lost their last. The Kings lost a lot of their games, but the Pelicans, them too, I guess. They lost the last games. So the Blazers winning their game against the 76ers eliminated them. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because right after the beef that was going on, Damian Lillard dropped 51 points in that game, which was huge, big moment. People were like, oh, that's crazy. But something else crazy happened in that game, and that was my boy Carmelo Anthony passing, going to number 15 in the all-time scoring list. I was proud of him. He is so close again. I just want him in the top 10 before he retires. He can do it. It's very, all the between 15 and I want to say 11, the point differential is pretty close. So I feel like within the stat is he has to play 3 more seasons and average at least 13 points per game. I think that could be done. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm hoping for it. But regardless, even though Damian Lillard had the monster game that he had Behind the scenes, Coach Terry Stotts and the team decided to give Carmelo the game ball for his huge achievement for being number 15 on the all-time scoring list. And this was the speech that Carmelo Anthony had to say.
To have my, get in the top 15 list, but I couldn't ask for anybody else to do what you guys, with y'all, man. So thank you.
Amy Lillard right there front and center for his boy. Like I really want the Blazers to make the playoffs so bad because this team is just so much fun to watch. Them and the Suns are I want them selfishly. I want it to be the Suns and Blazers for that playing game. I know the Grizzlies are still in the mix, but the Blazers and the Suns has just been fun to watch. So I hope that one of those two teams get the 8 seed, preferably the Blazers. But yeah, so big moment. That's my guy Melo. We're probably gonna be especially if they get in the playoffs, we'll probably be celebrating him climbing up the list a few more times. We'll see. But shout out to Melo again, number 15. Very, very good number for you because you're probably gonna get that number retired when you retire in Denver because that was his original number. Anyways, moving on. To like I said, it's all connected. We're going back to Philly in this same game. Now, even though we're celebrating the Blazers that were having some great moments, 51 points from Dame, Melo passing 15. Also, he had a great game that game too. On the other side, wasn't so great. Now, they already were out without Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid had to actually leave with the injury later on, but they had some I want to say some they had some generals moments in this game, and it was at the very top of the game, starting with this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia 76ers. Sorry, Tobias. Fuck it. Oh my goodness. Well, it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. As you saw there, that was Damian Lillard going for a layup. He missed it. Ball went right off of Tobias Harris's face and went in. So get Tobias Harris 2 points, even though they won't. They probably give it to Dame. So imagine that those 2 points were a part of Damian Lillard's 51 points. Just let that marinate for a second. And then moving on, a few plays later, it just wasn't the Sixers' night. The alley-oop went up to Norvell Pell, and this happened. Just getting a touch in. And then, yes, and they did go on to fast break and score that one. Just wasn't a good night for Philly. And the thing is, they stayed in that game for the majority of the game, so it was good for them. But the Blazers ultimately did take them out. It's going to be rough. I really hope that they are able to figure it out in the playoffs because they're not going to have Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid just got hurt. I'm sure he'd probably be back. We're not sure how serious that injury was, but man, Pelicans this year has just been rough. But if I could get some like Benny Hill to play behind that, that would have been great. But copyright, so I'm not going to do that. Anyways, moving on from the Sixers to a Celtics player in Jaylen Brown, who was joking a bit on his feelings for Donovan Mitchell. Now, he was asked about, how he's doing mentally, and he admit that, being in this bubble does take a little bit of a toll on his mental health, being, unable to separate work from, your personal life, because once you leave your game, you're then still in a bubble with all of your quote unquote co-workers where you're seeing them every single day. So he kind of joked a little bit in the interview saying that sometimes you see Donovan Mitchell and you're like, man, I don't want to see Donovan Mitchell right now. And obviously it was a joke. Nobody took it serious. But to make sure nobody takes it serious, because we know the climate that we're in right now, especially on social media, he responded to that original interview that was put up, and he quote tweeted, "I love my bro Spider Mitchell, but sometimes I just don't want to see his ass, LOL." And luckily with his video, it was black, so we didn't have to literally see his ass. So I mean, there's double entendre right there. We're gonna move on from that one. But I get it though, because 100%, you're there, focus on the game, and then I think the piece that comes with, especially when you're playing at that level, you get to go home and you get to recharge with family, whatever it may be, friends, whatever you're doing. But this, you're just going from basketball to more basketball, even if you're going into your little room. So that was a good answer. I understand what you're trying to say, but it was definitely a joke. So please don't take that serious. Moving on to my boy. Oh, man. It's hard out here for a pimp. But my boy, Lonzo Ball, he did not have a good time in the bubble. God, did he not have a good time in the bubble. He did not look like Lonzo Ball. Now, here's the thing. Now, I do want to preface with Lonzo has had a good season so far. He actually got some votes for most improved this year, career highs in points. All of his stats are looking like Lonzo Ball. You see that the new shot is turning the curve and whatnot. Everyone was happy about Lonzo Ball. Matter of fact, right before the season went off, he was averaging 20 points per game for the month of March. Good stuff was going on. But let me tell you, none of that came with him in the bubble, because this boy, Bleacher Report posted his whole stat line in the bubble, And Lord have mercy, it looked like J. Cole if he was playing for Detroit Pistons. He was averaging maybe not the rebounds and assists, but he was averaging 5.6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 6.8 assists. Like the rebounds and assists, that looks like Lonzo Ball. But man, 26% from the field, 19 from three. Lord have mercy. But Lonzo Ball is not fazed because he wants all the smoke and he wants to make sure that Bleacher Report remembers this same moment and that they post his stats again this time next year when he tweeted or responded to their tweet saying, make sure y'all post my ish next year too. Hashtag the marathon continues. I love it. I'm all about it because like we talked about Ben Simmons, Lonzo Ball is one of those guys that this would happen. Lonzo wouldn't say anything, and we're hearing comments from his daddy later on. This time, Lonzo Ball straight up came and said something. Regardless what happens after the fact, cool. Maybe he has similar stats. Who knows? But the fact that Lonzo Ball finally, hiking up his shorts a little bit and saying something, I like it. I'm all about it. I'm already a fan of Lonzo, so I'm hoping that he one-ups this. But man, in the same breath, even though I'm a fan of you, God, you look bad in the bubble, bro. So fortunately for you guys, 2 more games for the Pelicans, and we saw the tweet today after the Kings and all the teams are eliminated. The minute y'all last game is done, they're kicking you all the way out the bubble. You can't even stay for an extra day. So after those 2 games are up, the Pelicans and the Kings and whoever else, the Wizards for damn sure, they get in their planes and getting the hell out, and hopefully you get ready for next season. So yeah, talk your talk, Lonzo. Hopefully you can follow it up next year. I'm rooting for you, buddy. And from one hate message to another, actually this dude got a lot of them. Myles Garrett. Now Myles Garrett was being attacked from every angle in his DMs, and he was getting attacked with a lot of racist hate messages. Now we know the whole situation that happened between him and Mason Rudolph earlier on. We know some of the underlining feelings and the people that surround Mason Rudolph. So after, that situation had happened and then he got reinstated, he's been getting a lot of hate in his DMs. And Myles Garrett posted the hate to his Twitter, and like Lonzo, he's not bothered. I love Myles Garrett's response to this. As you can see, I'm not going to repeat them, but you can see the messages that he's getting in his DMs. And those are only 3 of, I'm sure, the hundreds that he's getting. And my man Myles Garrett responded with in his stride talking about rent-free. And you better talk that talk because you're right. Because all these people out here worried about you and saying all this recklessness and being racist and stuff like that, and you in their head. And you know what I'm saying? So power to him to be strong enough to deal with that, to not let it bother him, and be able to talk on it the way he's talking on it. So go ahead, Myles Garrett, let him know. You got a lot of real estate, my guy. So all these guys are talking and thinking about you, and you ain't got to worry about them at all because, like I said, keyboard warriors, they wouldn't say it to your face. Last but not least, we ended off post up last week on Friday with some Astros with some Astros shade, and we're gonna do that again for y'all here today because Jose Altuve did not look too good on Saturday. And here's a compilation of all of his bad plays, as I said, you guys out here on post up. Run highlights or low lights.
Chapman bounces one. Altuve
spins. Here we go.
Wildly to first.
Who's that?
Right side Altuve has it kick off his glove.
Down.
To go in and getting this.
Got him.
Probably a combination of Altuve. And he dropped it. And here comes Cam.
Love to see it.
Oh man, I'm sure, and that's what I'm saying. We're gonna end it off. So that's 2 for 2, and Altuve being one of the players that was on the team too. So it was all great. But man, I just wish we had the Benny Hill behind that one as well, just like the Sixers. Anyways, that's it for me. Post up. I'm all done. Thank you for listening.
All right, Chris.
So
then I guess it's up to me. Oh,
do it, Devin.
All right, let's do it. And now it is time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
Great. All right, I will be quick today because we all know over the weekend the NBA popularity contest finalists have been released. Oh, sorry, I meant the NBA awards finalists have been released. Just lost my head there a little bit. And guess what? Luka made the list for most improved player in the NBA this season. Yes, he did. And with him on the list is Bam Adebayo and Brandon Ingram. So I want to start by saying Bam 100% deserves to be there. Brandon deserves to be there in a sense, but I would kind of like to disagree because I am one of those people that does not believe that a guy who was a top 5 pick in the NBA draft deserves to be a most improved player guy. Like, these guys started off already as good players. So like Luka, who was I think picked 3rd overall. Brandon Ingram was the 2nd overall pick. Bam was the 14th overall pick. So he's good with me on this list. But I was very confused when I saw Luka on this list. I was like, I kept rereading, like, am I reading it? Is he in the most improved players list? I was very confused. And I'll tell you why I'm so confused that he's on the list. So his rookie season, 2018-2019 season, he averaged 21. I'm not going to do the deep point twos of everything. He averaged roughly 21 points per game, averaged roughly 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 42% from the field, 71% from free throws, 33% from behind or beyond the arc. So he also that season had 8 triple doubles, which is only behind Oscar Robinson with 26 and Ben Simmons with 12 for the most triple doubles as a rookie in the league. And mind you, Ben Simmons has an asterisk next to his little rookie thing anyway. But so he literally is up there with the triple doubles as the greatest for a rookie season. This year, he had 14 triple doubles before the NBA regular season play ended on March 11th. So obviously could have probably gotten more, yes. His averages were 29 points per game, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 46% field goal, 75% free throw. He actually dropped a little bit on his 3-point percentage, and he's at 31% for 3-point percentage. But his numbers are like, I mean, that's just what anybody would do after they've already had a year under their belt in the league. Like, it's nothing crazy. He didn't need to come up much anyway because he had a really good rookie season. So I get the guy's 21 years old. The numbers are very promising moving forward. He is going, if he stays healthy, he is going to be a great basketball player in this league. This we all know. I think he just consistently did what he was supposed to do. And then in your sophomore season, you're just going to be a little bit better than you were in your rookie season. His numbers were not terrible in his rookie season to then go into the next season and have the numbers that he put up and be like, oh, most improved player. Like, that guy's got it. Like, you know, like, we didn't even know his name last year, but now we know his name this year. That's what most improved player means to me. And that was not Luka at all. Like, he just consistently did what he was supposed to do. I could see him possibly have been in the conversation as a snub for NBA MVP, possibly. I obviously think the list is as it should be. It's James Harden, LeBron James, and Giannis. But I could see that being an argument. That is a legitimate argument if you think that he's a snub for NBA MVP. As far as most improved player, not only should he shouldn't even have been in that conversation, personally, to me, who I think was absolutely disgustingly snubbed because, again, this is the NBA and it's a popularity contest a lot of times. And unfortunately, you guys picked a player that was already popular, already had a good year last year, and then just had a slightly better year this year as most improved player just because he's doing such great numbers and you couldn't put him on the most valuable player list. You just wanted him to get an award, so you're just going to put him on this list just because. But you snub a guy that really deserves to be there, and that's Devontae Graham. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a guard for the Charlotte Hornets. He was a 2nd-round pick, which is, I think, what I like to see more in these guys, like when Malcolm Brogdon got Rookie of the Year and stuff a couple years, or Most Improved Player a couple years ago. I just thought that was a better decision to make because or no, he got Rookie of the Year, right, Chris?
Malcolm Brogdon? Yeah, he did.
Yes. When you see a guy like that who like really came in and just like changed the game and did such a good job or whatever, right? But and a lot of people didn't know his name when he won that award. People didn't think he was going to win the award. I like to see those people win. Devontae Graham should have at least been a finalist here. Let me tell you why. He upped his 3-point percentage from 18.2 last season to 37.3% this season. I don't know if you guys know about basketball. That is a huge jump to make. Usually if players just go up a couple points, it's a big deal. He literally doubled his numbers almost, like in his percentages. That is amazing. He also averaged roughly 5 points a game, a little less than 5 points a game last season. The first 2 games this season, he scored over 20 points per game, people literally went bonkers because, again, this is a guy that literally was coming into the game averaging like 4.7 points per game. And then the first 2 games of the season, he has 20 points. And then it doesn't stop there. In December, he had a game where he had 10 threes, made 10 threes in one game. And then he also 2 games later had a 40-point game in December. Like, I just like am so upset. Like, just because the team isn't like a top seeded team or whatever, people just want to look the other way and don't acknowledge how great this is and how much of that is an improved player. That's what a most improved player looks like. And yes, Brandon was a top pick, and I still will give him a little cred as most improved because he didn't really live up to our expectations in the beginning, and then he's come into his own now, and he did have a great season. Bam, obviously, I think had one of the better seasons. But Luka just doesn't deserve to be on that list. I'm just so upset about this. And you just took away a chance from a guy like Devontae Graham, who should actually be in that spot, not Luka. Chris, do you think the NBA got it right here, or do you think it was just another one of their picking favorites to be just win awards just because? Honest opinion.
Here's the thing. I don't know if this is going to be contradicting. I agree with you. I think I would have still gone with Devontae Graham more so than Luka, but I'm also not upset with them putting Luka in it for the fact that he went from a rookie to a borderline MVP in one season. And I feel like that is an improvement regardless. It's not, statistically and all that stuff and everything you named, which is true. I think it is still an improvement, but if I'm still choosing between the two, I'm definitely going to go with Devontae Graham because to go from a player that was your third, if not, I don't even know if it's like fourth option point guard on that team, because remember they had Kemba Walker, and then as soon as he's gone, he wasn't even supposed to be the starting point guard. He stole that job within like the second game, and he had a great season on, like you said, on a bad team, but he had a great season and had a lot of memorable games. I would definitely put him on the list of most improved. So I don't know if that's contradicting. So I'm not upset with the Luka choice, but I would much rather have Devontae Graham on there as well.
Why are you so your reasoning is just because he's a guy that should potentially be on an NBA MVP list and he's not on that list, he should automatically just get put on most improved player then? Because as a personal player, his stats did not improve that much. They're not that different than they were his rookie season. But like you said, though, I see a person that's like, I didn't even know that guy's name the year before, and now he's doing all these great numbers. That's to me what a most improved player guy is.
But like you said, I feel like moments are just as important as the stat jump. And Luka Doncic has had tons of those moments, from the triple doubles, from compared to a lot of these players, a lot of great names that we've talked about in the past, a lot of great things that Luka Doncic has done in his second year to the point where we can talk about him being an MVP. It's an improvement within your first 2 years. Now, if this was like year 3 to year 4 and the stats were similar, yeah, I'm with you 100%. But to do that within your first 2 years, I'm giving him that nod. I'm not saying he's the most improved player, but I am okay with him being in that conversation. So I just feel like to do all that stuff in year 2, as young as he is, that's a big deal. That's crazy. It's important. It's an improvement.
Especially considering a lot of guys go through their sophomore slumps and he didn't. So I guess that he is continually getting better. In a couple years, I say he could win an NBA MVP at 23, 24. Like, I really feel like he's right around the corner from being at that level, especially once LeBron kind of gets out of the game and it opens up opportunities for more. Because really, LeBron's just there because it's LeBron. But that could have, he's LeBron, and like I
get it. You're right. You're not wrong.
I don't want to have people's age be factors. So Luka's age shouldn't matter, just as LeBron's age shouldn't matter, which is, I think, what I took from it. So that's why I'm just like, I don't care if Luka is 21 or not. Like, he didn't do enough to be NBA MVP, but he hasn't also improved enough to be a most improved player to me. But yes, I get what you're saying, but I don't. So that's Fred's take for today.
I'll take that.
You're right, but you're wrong.
I hear you, but I ain't listening.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, just want to interject there. I also was surprised to see Luka on that list as well because he's been good. So I see where you both are coming from, but I think I'm more on Britt's side here. But you guys, that wraps up the show for the day. Jackie's going to be back again tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for what we're not going to do tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as all the other segments in our live show. And subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you at 11 a.m. Pacific Time tomorrow. Wash your hands, wear a mask, be a nice person. The usual sign off.
Do better.
Do better. Bye.
Oh yeah. Got you.